First range of motion assessment I'm going to be performing for my case study today is going to be hip abduction. Since she does have knee valgus issues, it's a great way to start. The adductor complex is a common area to look to see about any movement impairments for that issue. I want to dial in on the adductor complex because of this, and when the adductors are overactive, the typical underactive muscle is the vastus medialis oblique, or the VMO, and normal values for this assessment is 40 degrees of motion. The client is going to be positioned supine on the back with knees extended. Hip is going to be neutral, 0 degrees rotation. So yeah, I'm going to be performing that on my client now. So for this assessment, we're going to be abducting the client's lower leg until a limitation. The normal range of motion is about 40 degrees. We're looking for any compensation patterns of any lateral flexion of the spine or ASIS. So we're just going to start here by abducting the leg. So I actually don't have the tool to measure. This is just one of the assessments I would do on my case study. My second range of motion assessment I'm going to be performing is going to be during hip external rotation to see if there's any limitations or issues when externally rotating the knee because of her knee valgus issues. Normal value of range of motion is 45 degrees. The client is again placed down supine with the hip flexed 90 degrees, 0 degrees of abduction and adduction, knee flexed 90 degrees, and we're just going to passively rotate the femur externally until the first compensation or restriction. And the primary compensation movement is in the opposite ASIS we're looking for. So I'm going to be performing that. This is the second assessment I'm going to be performing, doing hip external rotation. So my client is going to be positioned supine on her back with her hip flexed to 90 degrees and with 0 degrees of any abduction or adduction, as well as the knee flexed at 90. And we're just going to see how far she can externally rotate. So, and then we're just going to slowly go, watch for any compensations in the ASIS. Okay, so about here. So just eyeballing it here, it looks about 45 degrees, which is what we're looking for. I don't have the tools to measure, but this is what I would do. The loaded movement assessment I'm going to be performing today is going to be the loaded squat assessment. This is a good way to assess dynamic posture through the movement, as well as core stability, overall neuromuscular control and efficiency while under an external load. We're going to be performing it 5 reps per view with anterior, posterior, and lateral, and I'll be performing that with my client next. So this is my loaded squat assessment. Sorry for the camera angle, best I can do. With this one, we're going to be doing 5 reps per view, anterior, posterior, lateral. With the anterior view, we're looking for any feet turnout, any knee valgus, weight shift in the LPHC. From lateral view, any ankle heel rise, any knee dominance, and in the LPHC, any excessive posterior or anterior pelvic tilt. And from the posterior view, we're looking for any excessive foot pronation. So we're just going to walk it through now. Yeah, should be 5. Yeah, good job. So I'll do right now. Keep going. Keep going. Yeah, good. The last movement assessment I'm doing for my client case study is going to be the STAR balance excursion test. This assessment measures multiplanar balance and neuromuscular efficiency of the testing leg during closed chain functional movements. And with this test, we can determine which plane of motion the client has the least control in, and this will help determining which planes of motion may need to be focused on with my upcoming training program. I'll be walking you through that next. Again, sorry for the camera angle, but this is the last assessment I'm doing, the STAR balance excursion assessment. So we're going to get the client to stand on her testing leg, squat down as far as she can control while keeping the knee aligned in neutral position. Then she's going to reach out with that opposite leg in the sagittal, frontal, and transverse planes while trying to maintain balance, keeping the knee in line with the second and third toes of the balancing foot. Then we can determine which plane of motion the client has at least control in. Okay. We'll go. Can I go forward? Go to the side. Go diagonal.